Good morning, and how are you doing? We're back here at Carowinds for our second day. We're super excited to be here again. Sorry if I sound a little funky. I'm a little under the weather today. I was starting to feel bad at Carowinds last night. Woke up this morning out feeling great, but I'm gonna power through because there's a lot of big coasters today, and I'm very excited to do a lot of them. We're here at Park Open, as you're seeing on screen right now, and we're walking straight back to Copperhead. It looks like it's gonna be a very busy day here. It's a Saturday, so we're gonna try to get coasters out first, and then we'll do a little bit more generic park filming, show you some of the decorations for Oktoberfest, all that good stuff. But we're heading straight back to Copperhead right now. So as we're walking past it, this is the Kitty Hawk. This is a no for me. I've been on plenty of these since the Vekoma suspended. This is a rattle your head and beat you up one. They used to have one of these at Legoland, where currently the new indoor coaster is going in. But if you don't mind a little beat 'em up, that's a beat 'em up. But it's here, and it's still a nice addition. As we're walking past, there is Boo Blasters over here. This is definitely a must ride for us today. It's a staple shooting ride at a lot of the Cedar Fair parks. It was at Kings Island until recently, and it's getting revamped. But we do want to get on it. But again, we're heading straight back to Copperhead Strike. I just think it's going to be our best bet here this morning. Alrighty, we made it back here to Copperhead Strike. Obviously, again, we can't take you on really, unfortunately. We'll bring my phone up in the station just to take a few clips, but I do have to put everything in a locker here because they do not offer any on-station lockers that I do not love, but it is what it is.
Welcome back, friends. How was that ride? I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. At this time, it's not far from the point. You must ride from so long. Stop. Thank you for riding Copperhead Strike. For the USC Native Carowinds. Grab the queue line. This is your train to board. You have 3 seconds to walk through those gates. Those gates will close in on you.
Alrighty, so we just got off our first ever ride here on Copperhead Strike. No wait here this morning, only just walked in, got right into the front row. Wonderful to see. Clearly people didn't really run back here. We only rode it once, even though I was walking, just because there's a few reasons behind it. First, a little intense. It's a Mack LSM launch. It has 2 launches through it. It's the first multi-launch coaster in the park. We thought it was very good. It had a lot of pop air time that I thought was super fun. But the second reason, other than it just being kind of intense, is we didn't actually like it that much. I don't know if that's going to be a hot take or anything. Loved the show scene at the beginning. I loved the theming all around it. But I just felt like the launches actually were pretty weak feeling. They didn't really give me any oomph. And I just felt like in general the elements weren't super fun other than that pop air time. So it's definitely a must ride in this park, but definitely not super high on my list compared to some of the other rides like Fury in this park. But otherwise, it's a really good ride. It's really well themed. It opened back in 2019, so it's fairly new. It's very smooth, but otherwise, it's still a great ride. Definitely give it a ride when you're here. Well, we're over here in the Aeronautica area with Afterburn. This was highly suggested to me by a good friend of mine, Dow. He told me I had to ride Afterburn. It was his favorite here. So we will be hopping on. I will say B&M's inverteds are not my favorite, but we'll give it a try anyways. It looks pretty intense.
You guys out here, make some noise. Enjoy your ride.
I will say it's intense. It's not as intense as others. I still think Montu over at Busch Gardens Tampa is just significantly more intense, but also has a better layout, in my opinion. But I do like this one. I do like that it goes through the trees. I do like the train design. I think it's pretty fun that there are two different trains with two different designs. I don't know if there's a third that ever runs. I don't see one on the brake run, so I could be corrected there. But both trains are running today. I will say ops are not on a high end today. we experienced not great ops yesterday during Carowinds, but we were hoping that was Friday. It's their first day back. You know, it wasn't necessarily like a full day, but no, ops are still not great tonight. But otherwise, it is a pretty good ride. If you like intense rides, this is gonna do it for you. It's got a lot of G-forces. It's got a lot of really whippy moments, especially around some of those corkscrews. Insane whip. Like you get whipped around them and you're like, holy crap, I didn't even realize I did a corkscrew because you like half blocked out. I will say though, this doesn't hold a candle to Batman that we rode at Six Flags Over Georgia. I mean, like, it's not even close in intensity. I don't think I've ever been on anything that intense other than that Batman that we rode at Six Flags Over Georgia. So during the day right now, they do have multiple things going on. They do have Oktoberfest. That's got a bunch of different food carts and beer options and stuff for the adults. And then they do also have a bunch of kids stuff going on. So they have a pumpkin patch over here where you can get, looks like a free pumpkin. And there's a bunch of interactive things for kids all around. They have like a temporary, almost arcade stalls over here, like Midway games that seem like they're a little bit more generous and easier to win. So good for the little ones. They have lots of decorations up all over the place, and they also do have trick-or-treating across the park. Seems like right behind us, right here, is like the main trick-or-treating trail. Alrighty, the next stop is Boo Blasters. This is their shooting dark ride. This is their only dark ride in the park currently, and it is copied across a lot of the different Cedar Fair parks. I have been, I believe, on this when I was much younger. I used to go to Kings Island a lot when I was really young. I don't remember anything from it, but I do believe I was on this. I might even rode it when I was like Scooby-Doo, but I'm excited to give this a ride. We can't bring you on, unfortunately, but well, I'll let you know what I think afterwards. Well, that was actually better than I thought it was going to be. Nice little fun family dark ride with a shooting element to it. Guns were very generous on where you shot. Like, it wasn't like really pinpoint accuracy there. It was kind of just shoot in that general direction, you'll hit the target. Lots of interactive stuff. It seemed like it was really well maintained, all working. It very much feels like Scooby-Doo, the way the art style's done and the scares, but like Scooby-Doo type scares. I thought, again, 100% worth the ride. Obviously, it can get a pretty decent line just because it is the only dark ride in the park. So obviously it's going to get a decent line when it is busy with the families. But again, give this a try. I did score almost 500,000 points, I believe. I don't know where that ranks, if that's any good. They didn't have like a scoreboard, so I don't know if that's like, whoa, that was really good. I always consider myself decent at shooting dark rides, so that could be par for the norm, or it could be a little bit above average. But either way, really like Boo Blasters. I would love to give it a try at a bunch of the other parks, and Kings Island's redoing theirs right now. I will say the Trick or Treat Trail is popular, man. It's got quite the line. Next up, we're heading back to Camp Snoopy. We did, again, see a little bit of this during Carowinds, but we get to see it during the day. A couple family rides we want to ride back here, too. Just get the credits. Really love this water feature they have, too, when you're walking into Camp Snoopy back here. The Snoopy in the boat. And then the fountains look really nice around it. I would say I really like it back here. We've walked through here a couple times now. I think it looks really nice. It's really well themed. It's very pretty back here too. They really well forested. Lots of small things. Let me tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing about this park. There's tons of flat rides, man. If you like flat rides, if you're a big flat ride enjoyer, holy moly, you will have some unique ones here. You also will have so many. I like how many family ones they have, just because again, it's a nice mix because there's so many of those really big coasters here. So it's nice for them to add those like smaller family type flat rides that everyone can ride. Well, one of the big ones we wanted to ride was actually the newest attraction here this year. It's Snoopy's Racing Railway. It is over here, obviously, in Camp Snoopy. It's a family coaster, but we're gonna go hop in line. We'll talk more about it afterwards. Well, we waited about 40 minutes for Snoopy's Racing Railway. Definitely the longest line we've waited in so far, period, at this park. I will say again, I don't necessarily love to blame the operators, but clearly something needs to be done about operations here this weekend. It has been not great. This runs one train because it does a 2-lap, and it's just not loading it quick. It's just really slow. Obviously it's a kids ride, so kids aren't necessarily going to be the quickest getting on that thing, but it really felt like a slog most of the time throughout that line. Another thing they really need to do with this, put in some shade on the queue line, because it is awful when it's out in the sun. It's not even very hot today, but when it is out in the sun, there's just no shade. Not super fun. But otherwise, it's made by Art Engineering, family coaster. It has a launch on it. Actually, I would argue a fairly forceful launch at the beginning. We were kind of shocked by it. A little bit of pop air time. It's nothing crazy, obviously a kid's coaster, but it had some nice theming and it was really smooth. So if you're here with your little ones, obviously give this a try if there's not too much of a wait. Back here right past the Racing Railway is going to be Woodstock Express. That is a family wooden coaster, pretty small one. My dad was insistent on me riding it because apparently I liked it a lot when I was younger. I don't have any recollection of this ride from Kings Island, but apparently it's the same model. So we're gonna give this go. No wait, so we should just be able to walk right on.
Welcome back, Green Train. How was that ride? Hello, campers. Welcome to Woodstock. Secure all loose and valuable items. As Carowinds is your responsibility for items lost or damaged. To my guests in the
Well, Woodstock Express is a really fun family wooden coaster. Obviously very old. I will say, not the most accommodating for taller people. My knees were like pressed up against the front. I did get a front row ride. It was not too shaky actually, considering how old it is. I do wish they would do a little retracking. It clearly has not been retracked in a while, but I don't necessarily think it needs it. It's not super intense. It's not super rattly. It is a fun family ride. So ride it if you want the credit. Ride it if you have little ones. And right in front of me here, I'll walk closer in a second because those water guns are going quite full. Actually might step back a little bit. Those water guns on this splash battle, man, they soar. This is their other new attractions for 2025. It's their splash battle. We'll walk up really quick before another boat comes. It's not a superly huge splash battle or anything, but it has some nice interactive elements where you can shoot other boats. There's a lot of sections where you can shoot people on the walkways that have guns that shoot back at you. I always think these are fun water rides. They have a lot of interactivity to them, and it's obviously just fun to shoot people in the face with water guns. So I do like when they have guns on the sides for people that don't want to ride, or just for kids that want to cause a little bit more mischief in the first place. I think it's really fun. I always like splash battles. I think they're pretty fun rides to put basically anywhere. Super small footprints, and the whole family can very easily ride it. So always a great addition. Then over here all the way in the back in Camp Snoopy, it's another family coaster. This one's more of a kiddie coaster. This thing looks old. I bet this thing can beat the crap out of you. And then they do have a couple playgrounds back here. Again, I think this area is a wonderful part of the park. I think this is honestly what this park needs even more, especially with it having such huge thrill coasters. It needs something for the local families to come out. And we've seen a lot of families, especially here today, but even during Carowinds, there was a shocking amount of children and families. So again, would love to see them do more family editions. We do know their edition for next year is going to be a log flume. It looks like it's going to be pretty big, so that will be exciting to see. Hopefully we'll get to come see it shortly after it opens. So we're about 3.5 hours into our day. Unfortunately, Intimidator did open, or Thunder Striker. I keep calling it Intimidator, but that seems to be more what the locals call it, so I'll call it Intimidator anyways. Did open with the park, but it was very short-lived. Was very close to being down, basically right after the park opened. But it is testing right now, and it looks like it does have a decent crowd. I'm hoping to maybe get one more ride on it today. We don't have a whole lot longer here, and we're trying to get a few more clips for you guys, and we'll just see what we can do. But I do want to get back on Fury, and I do want to ride Hurler. I know Hurler is a piece of crap, but I don't know, it's just one of those pieces of crap I do want to ride just in case it does get taken out before we can make our way back here. Nothing else in this park super interests me. Again, I don't do stand-ups. That's like a big no-no for me. I just think they're really uncomfortable, and I just don't ever suggest riding them. If you like them, I mean, you like them, but if you don't, you really don't. So, not really interested in that. They do have a boomerang here. I hate boomerangs. That's another one that I just despise. I think they're super intense. I don't even think they have a fun layout, and they just make me sick. So I don't ride those. I was originally going to ride their other arrow with the double corkscrew, but I just don't know if we'll get that in today or not. But I'm going to go walk over to your Fury. I'm going to take a little break, and then I think we're going to try to get on Fury and Hurler before we leave today. Alrighty, so I only have about 2 hours-ish left. And I've decided I do want to ride both Hurler and Fury 325 again. So I'm just going to brave the lines. They both look fairly long. And again, these ops are honestly horrible. Like, these are like few minute long dispatches that I just don't think, like, they're stacking trains on the average on both Fury and Hurler. And Hurler's a completely different beast. Fury's at least getting them out every like 4 minutes. Dude, Hurler's like getting like 6-minute dispatches right now. So I'm gonna try to get in line, see what we can get done. I'm gonna do Fury first, because if I don't get in Hurler, I'm not gonna be devastated. If I don't get in Fury during a daytime ride, I'll be a little upset. So I'm gonna get you guys in the locker, and I'm gonna go do this one. Alrighty, so about an hour 15 later, I rode both Fury front row, and then I also rode Hurler. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Would have been like 15, 20 minutes less if I didn't want to do front row on Fury, but when I only waited about 25, 30 minutes to get to the front, or get to the front of the line, it's like, front row, why not? Front row on Fury, fantastic. That thing is awesome, man. I love Fury 325. I'm a big fan. I understand why it won so many awards now. I understand why so many people love it. It is a speed demon. Like, it is just like the speed coaster that I've ever been on, and it's the tallest I've ever been on, the fastest. It's just a really fun ride. Front row on there is a completely different experience though. You're getting blasted the whole time by air, man. It is crazy how much like wind is just hitting your face from how fast you're going. Super fun, really a great time. The people next to me, it was one of their first time riding. He was really funny. So definitely suggest front row on Fury. Hurler doesn't even deserve off-ride footage. That thing is the biggest piece of trash I've ever been on. I'm being 100% honest here. I think that is my least favorite coaster I've ever been on in my life. It beat the living crap out of you. So it doesn't even have like a fun layout or anything. It's very boring. Doesn't have that good of airtime. It doesn't just rattle, it full slams you into the side of the car. Luckily, I will give it one props. Recently, it seems like they've redone the seats pretty recently. Like, there was not even a tear on those leather seats. And they were very reminiscent of like other woodens that are being updated, where they just have really, really soft cushioning. That obviously means they have to replace it more often, but I think it really works on a coaster like that when you are getting beat the crap out of. Because if it was harder in there, I might have ended up bruised. Like, it really is not worth your time, in my opinion, unless you really just want to see how crappy it is. I would love to see them RMC this sooner rather than later. All right, so I'm walking out right now, and on my way out, I did stop and get a shirt. I'll show a picture of it up on screen right now just because I don't want to unfold it. So I'll probably take a picture when I get back home. It is a Fury shirt. I originally was just like, oh, I just really like that Fury shirt. It's this Attack of the Hive. I really, really like the shirt. I wanted a Carowinds shirt. It's a Carowinds shirt, so it ticked both my boxes. But we're heading towards the front. We'll wrap up my full thoughts on the day and talk about everything that went right and some things that went wrong. But we'll head up towards the front and talk about it there. Well, that officially does it for our Carowinds trip. We are trying to get home tonight. That's why we're leaving about 4:30 today. We're still trying to get back to Florida tonight, so we're not having to stay an extra night at a hotel. Just makes it a little cheaper, a little easier, you know. Nice, easy 2-day trip. Really enjoyed the park. Really blew us away, honestly. We were really surprised on how much we enjoyed the park. And overall, Carowinds was good, other than that one house that, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go watch that video. That was really funny that we started with that house out of all of them. Rides were super fun. I definitely have a few rides in this park that I just really love, especially Fury. I mean, Fury is like, I don't know, it's just an amazing ride, so I don't mind. Funny thing about Fury, you can see, just like standing under it, you can just like stand over here, like completely under Fury, under this grass area. That I think is crazy. As you can see, it's coming this way, but you know, always fun. So we had a lot of upsides on this trip, but we did have one major downside with it. Operations here at Carowinds were not good this weekend. I don't know how to sugarcoat it. They aren't great. So as I was talking about earlier, we were waiting for dispatches for so long. A lot of that was happening due to, I wasn't worried about lines as much because it was busy today, but I don't mind waiting in a line. But I'm trying to take off-ride footage for you guys. And when the dispatches are like 6-7 minutes in between, it makes it really hard to take off-ride footage because I'm trying to move around to different locations. I have to wait for trains to come by. So I'm waiting like 20-25 minutes for just one batch of off-ride footage, especially Copperhead Strike. Really not great operations over there. So I'd love to see something done about that. Some of the rides weren't as bad. Fury, even though it is not great, I do chalk that up to some. When I was standing up there in the station, most of the time when they were sending slow trains out, it was because they had somebody that wasn't able to fit, and that seems to be a major problem there. So it's not 100% their fault, but also I just would like to see some speediness, especially when we're running 3 trains. I just think it's crazy to have like 4 or 5 minute dispatches on a Giga that's running 3 trains. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Let me know if you've experienced this before, if you've had bad operations here. But again, I would love to see something done about that in the future when we come back, just because again, it shouldn't be like that. But otherwise, again, great trip we had here, fantastic rides. We're definitely coming back next year. I'm very interested to see their next ride, or their new ride next year. Seems to be a giant log flume. Very excited to ride that. So until next time, stay tuned with us. We're heading back to Florida, do Florida things, more horror nights and all that good stuff. But otherwise, hope this video brought a little more joy into you today, and we'll see you guys next time.